Okay, so I just had an update here on the hardwood seedlings nursery. Some good news and some bad news. The bad news is the summer heat has taken its toll on some of the trees, which I expected. You know, I was trying to keep it irrigated, but we didn't have any sort of shade cloth or anything over it. You know, I was letting the weeds grow up through it to try to help kind of shade the trees, shade the plants. But I was irrigating it, you know, occasionally. I didn't want to irrigate every single day and make the plants, you know, develop shallow fibrous roots. I wanted them to really have to learn to work and put roots down. Now, some of them we've lost, okay? See how that breaks off? That's a wild black cherry, breaks off. Others on the black cherry, you bend them and it's not breaking, okay? So that gives me some hope that perhaps these trees are not dead, they've just defoliated. And this is a natural thing, especially on smaller trees. When they're under pressure from the heat, rather than try to fight through it and truly kill themselves, they will defoliate and go dormant. Now, I had thought I had checked the cherry a couple times and I really thought it was all dead. And I said, well, you know, hey, this is normally a more, you know, Appalachian sort of northern tree. Sure, it'll grow down here, but will it survive down here? But today, good news. Good news. These are black cherry leaves. So these are coming back out now that it's cooled off just a little bit. You know, it's early September. It was really, really hot for July and August. I mean, that happens to us every year. But I kept walking over here checking, hoping that I would find some new leaves coming out, and I really wasn't seeing them. But now that I'm going through and weeding the trees out today, I'm finding them. So there's some really good flush coming back on the black cherry. So there's good hope there. We'll just have to see. This daggum morning glory, man. This morning glory gets up on everything, and you can't just pull it out on the top. You got to go down to the base of the tree and figure out where it's even coming out of the ground, and then it'll all come off like a big wad. Anyway, so the black cherry had 100% defoliated, but it looks like some of the bigger trees, the healthier ones, are starting to come back out of it now. Eastern red cedar, it held through pretty good the whole time. I kept it weeded out for whatever reason. Every time I would walk through here and decide to pull weeds, I always started on the cedar. I don't know if maybe it was just the easiest or what, but I kept it weeded out pretty well, and it did pretty good. I've lost a few trees that just straight up died. But they've grown really good. Some of these have grown a foot this year. The Osage orange, the Bodark, I'm very, very excited about. These are doing very well. I thought at one point that I had lost a lot of them too. I don't really know that they defoliated. It just seemed like they were struggling, like they just weren't growing. But got them weeded out, man, they popped up really good. The black gum, same thing. I've lost a few. They were really defoliated, and now they're really coming back good. The Nuttall oak, this is the southern red oak. I say southern red oak. It's a more swampy, tolerant red oak, but it held pretty good through all of it. It got a little bleached out. I guess maybe you could try to say it was a little bit of chlorosis. You can see some leaves in there that are a little bit more yellow than others. It never really defoliated though, and it's growing pretty good. It never defoliated a whole lot. It held through really strong. The hickory, I don't know. It looks, oh, what, look. Oh, nope, that's a bug. The hickory, yeah, it's not snapping. I mean, I'm bending it almost 180 degrees. It's not snapping, but I'm not seeing any, I don't see any new leaves in the hickory. I see it's all defoliated. I don't see any new leaves trying to push out. The silver maple did pretty good through most of it. It had a little bit of defoliation, but never went fully. But it seems to be doing pretty good. It was pretty tall to begin with. So I don't really know how much it's grown this year, but it's done pretty good. My black walnut scared me. It defoliated pretty much entirely. Yeah, this one didn't. This one, those leaves might be not really doing anything. But we've got new growth coming out on the black walnut again. So again, you know, letting it defoliate is not ideal, I wouldn't think. But it doesn't mean that your trees are dead. So just because they drop the leaves in the middle of the summer, don't think that they're just dead and quit on them. Okay, keep them irrigated, keep them weeded. If you can get some shade cloth over them, that might help. They might, kind of come out of it a little sooner, because, it wasn't just a lack of water that makes them defoliate. It is just the flat out heat. The sun is so hot that they lose so much moisture through their leaves that they will drop the leaves to stop that moisture loss. So it's, it's not just, like I said, it's not just a lack of water in the soil, but it's just that day after day after day of just blazing heat. And then my swamp white oak, it was kind of a mix. It seemed to hold on pretty good. It doesn't look very flush, it's not very leafy, but you can see here's some new growth coming out on this one. It didn't fully defoliate. It's kind of 50-50. Some of the seedlings defoliated, some of them did not, but it is showing some flush growth coming back out again. So, we've got about 2.5 months. It's September 6th today. We might get our first frost late November, so September, October, November. You can say we have about 3 months still, realistically, until we get our first frost, really. And so these trees, they've got a lot of time. If we cool off a little bit and we stay out of the hundreds, these trees have got time to, kind of put on a second crop of leaves and a second growth to then go dormant for the winter. There's all sorts of funny things going on. The hardwoods nursery, that's the summary of the story there. Extreme heat caused defoliation. Oh, here we go. Here's a hickory. So there's one hickory coming back out of it. That's good. That's the only hickory that I've seen so far that's got leaves coming back out. So there's at least one. There's at least one that's trying to come back. I think my wife, we just bought our trees for next year already. We already ordered them. And I think she bought another big batch of the hickory. I think she bought 100 more of the shell bark, and I think she bought 100 mixed hickory. So we'll see. We're going to give them a second shot. But this is funny. This is kind of in addition to the hardwoods nursery. This is an apple tree, and it's blooming. Explain to me. Someone explain to me why my apple tree is deciding. Oh man, why is that so? Come on, focus. Come on. Now I want you guys to see it. Obviously you can see it, but it's aggravating me that it won't focus. Focus. Autofocus. There we go. Aren't those pretty? I just noticed this the other day. I walked by and I was like, man, that apple tree, so many of the other, like the peach trees and stuff, have really, they've kind of dried up and defoliated. And then here's this apple tree that I was like, man, that thing looks lush. And then I see blooms on it. What in the world? I'm still not giving up on the apples down here, but I haven't gotten a single apple tree to do something normal yet. They don't want to grow, or they just die right away, or they bloom in September. I don't know. Anyway, yard birds are out here doing their thing today. They found the garden. They like that I've gone through and pulled up weeds because they can walk through here easier and get some bugs, which is fine by me. But yeah, I just want to give you guys that little update on the nursery. Like I said, it looks pretty patchy and nasty, but when you get a little closer look and you start to see those new leaves coming out, it does look like it's bouncing back. And so we're gonna keep it irrigated and try to keep it weeded a little better. It's just been so hot that I couldn't even hardly get the motivation to come out here and pull weeds. But this is the cleanest it's been in several months. I've been trying to come out in the mornings and just do one batch of trees, one row or whatever. So it's coming back pretty good. I'd imagine in a couple of weeks it'll look really good. If we stay a little cooler, it'll look really good. So yeah, that's your little late summer update, I guess. None of it is a total loss just yet. It'll be really interesting to see how the cherry bounces back. The cherry I was really worried about, and at least there's a couple starting to push back. They're about like the hickory. There's 2 or 3 in there that are showing some hope. So we'll see. A couple weeks it might be a much better story, but it's okay for now.